You ready, though?
I'm as ready as I get.
Okay, here we go.
The scotch is resting.
All right. This is going to be the ProHammer battle report for our Boondoggle campaign, which has been going on, what now?
A year?
At least, yes. Just about a year.
Yeah.
It's been brutal. We're on day 27, but that's actually turn 27, which is like...
Apparently we're fighting in the mountains.
We're fighting in the mountains. So, for this battle report is brought to you by... What's our beverage that we have here?
You're drinking an Ardbeg Anno.
Oh.
And I'm drinking an Ardbeg Ugadal. That's not pronounced correctly because I am not as Scottish as I wish I was.
Well, there you go. But these guys, let me tell you who's Scottish. There's going to be some Space Wolves here. They could be kind of Scottish. Man, a little, not quite. Okay, here we go. So, the whole deal is that we've been playing a campaign for the better part of a year using the ProHammer rules. I'm not going to read through all of this because you guys all have eyeballs and can read some of this, but the basic gist of it is that ProHammer is kind of a mashup of 4th and 5th edition rules, so a lot of fun classic stuff that doesn't really exist anymore in Warhammer as it is today, with a bunch of our own fun additions too. I don't know if you have anything you want to share on that, Sam? But...
I do not.
Okay. And I should say, I'm Oliver, and I'm here with my friend...
Sam.
There we go.
Obviously.
Yes, we're ready to go. So, you'll see a little bit of these rules leak through our battle report here. And so, yeah, that's it. If you want to check out ProHammer, it's hosted over on DakkaDakka, and you can check that out. So, campaign. Where are we, Sam? Look at this. Where are we?
We're in the Strategorarium.
We are in the Strategorarium, or Rearium, or something like that. And so, this campaign is a map-based campaign that we've been running for a while now. It's gone over the course of 4 different stages. We're on the final stage. And essentially, if we can get a mouse cursor, I don't know if I think that'll come through.
Yeah.
We're going to be looking at this battle that's right in the center of the
We also have
whole thing.
animations that say that.
Oh, we do. Yeah, we this is all fully animated, so yeah, let's actually get right into that.
Yeah.
We got the Rune claws, Eldar and Space Wolves, which...
That's Oliver, because he likes that.
Yeah, and it's, sounds like a perfect
That's pretty good.
combination of runes and claws and stuff. Sam, you're the Milli-Tauium.
Yeah, which is...
It's just a stupid pun, but, So you're playing Imperial Guard and Tau. And so over the course of this campaign, we've been assembling armies that have been moving around this map, trying to control the big stars that are on the map. And so kind of the situation that we're looking at is up in the north. Sam and I just had a good fight there.
The key thing before is that Oliver, as the Rune claws, is winning by 2 points. So somehow, in our first iteration of Oliver, because he made all the rules, Oliver's first iteration of a campaign is balanced enough that on turn 27, he's only winning by 2 points. So this is the pivotal turn of an entire year.
That's right.
Of Warhammer.
Thank you for laying that out.
Yeah, I'm good at
that. That needed to be said because I was getting into the minutia.
You're getting too deep. You're deep into it.
I was getting too deep into it, way deep. So the good news for me, we fought a little battle in the north, and so Sam's army will be retreating after the fight. I was successful and able to flip a point there.
And capturing the stars is how you get points.
Exactly.
So he's going to be able to capture that star, so he's going to get more points at the end of the turn.
Those guys are running away. I have this little sneaky army that's going to probably zip around and grab that point. Down in the south area, I have a point that's not really contested right now. I have a point where I'm going to lose horribly at that fight. That's your miserable giant Tau army, or a large
giant guard army.
Guard army, that's right. We've had an epic fight with Guard and Space Wolves down there that we will share some other details on in the future, perhaps.
Yeah.
Anyway, so it all kind of comes down to I'm going to lose there and run away. So it all kind of hinges on this battle, and whose armies are going to end up running away coming out of this fight is probably going to be able to hold that point.
Yeah, we did the math.
Rest of the campaign.
So basically,
it's been math hammered heavily.
Math hammer, yeah. Whoever wins this is going to win the whole thing for sure.
So will Sam run away? The Milli-Tauium in defeat. Will the wolves put the tail between the proverbial legs and run away? You never know. Terrible puns.
Yeah, that's
We're going to be here all night. Okay, so let's talk about the armies in this big battle at the Gamma Point. So my biggest force are Rune Claws and this Eldar Strike Force. So I have a Farseer with a bunch of Wind Riders and Warlocks, Striking Scorpions. I love the Striking Scorpions. No, there's no love for those, though, I want to say.
Why not? They're
good. I know, they're great, but like they never show up in games, Dawn of War games, like video games.
That's because they can't handle the Mandy Blaster.
They can't handle the Mandy Blaster. So anyway, there's some Wave Serpents, some Swooping Hawks that are like half dead from the campaign, and they're all scared, and that's not good. Big unit of Wraith Guard, Wave Serpent, more Striking Scorpions. So that's one whole detachment. I also have this whole drop pod army that's been sitting back at my headquarters, waiting for the moment to strike, and that moment basically is now. So we got a Rune Priest, Moonglum.
He's sad about it.
I don't know. He's just, what are you going to do?
It's a sad day for Moonglum.
Moonglum.
Moonglum's a Rune Priest. What is his name?
I don't know why.
His name is Moonglum.
It might have been a Michael Moorcock reference. Wasn't there a Moonglum in that?
I don't know. There might have been.
Anyway, he's got some guys. He's got boys backing him up. He's not too sad. He got a drop pod. You got some more Grey Hunters with another drop pod. You got more Blood Claws with their drop pod. And who's this? This can be Gideon.
Gideon. Okay, he's not as sad as
He's not quite as sad. Maybe they made a Bible after him. And then my last little group of Space Wolves here is some guys in some fancy ships. So the Stormclaw Reaction Force. We got Battle Leader Uriel. Some Grey Hunters with absolutely no equipment. These guys have nothing.
No, they're just here for the airplane.
Bodies in flying ships. A gunship, some more Grey Hunters, and another gunship. So.
Yep, that's good.
Sam, what you got?
All right, so I got...
you click.
Yeah, I'll click here. Right? That's my dudes. Got my commander. He's got his shield drones. Got to have shield drones. Bunch of fire warriors. Riptides, because they're broken.
Riptides.
Yeah, they're real good.
You're going to hear some commentary about them over the course of this.
Yeah, because they're awesome. I got some devilfish to carry said fire warriors. Right? And hammerhead, because you got to have a tank.
Yep. Naturally.
Yep, that's my second Riptide there.
Yep.
And Fire Warriors. So like that's kind of your main, your troopies.
Yep.
Then you got you got to have the Kroot. The Kroot got to roll out, right?
Yep. Yeah. Naturally.
So you got some Kroot, sniper rifles.
Love them.
I love them. And some Krutex riders with them because I don't know why not.
They've shot
a lot of wounds.
Twice the whole campaign.
They got a lot of wounds though.
They do.
And Vespids.
I hate these guys.
Yeah, I don't know why, but everybody hates the Vespids.
They're really good, and I just want to kill them.
I know, you're just a hater.
Prioritize.
And then the boys, right? You gotta have the boys. So
that's right.
The guard coming in, the Flying Devils. That's a good name. That's good, right? There's Commissioner and Bringer. There. So you get nice, right? Commissar, Lord Commissar.
Oh, I should have. Yeah, I got to get my titles right.
Got your vets here. Basic vets got a flamer and a melta.
Yep.
Really, they're just here
for the planes.
For the airplanes.
A lot of airplanes.
Got to have the airplanes. So.
But there we go. So our climactic battle mission. This was one of the custom missions that we had designed for our campaign. And so this is based around these 5 different power stations that are here across the map. And then you can see our kind of L-shaped deployment zones that are in here. The basic gist of how this works, and it was a little tricky. It was actually key with how it came down is at the start of a round you score points based on how many of these that you control by having the most bodies around it. But in order to score points, you have to have exclusive control of a point, and then as like an action for that unit, they would hold that point on their turn in lieu of some of their shooting capability, and they would basically activate the power siphon, and you get more points if you hold more points that way. So you'll see how that comes down because 1 point can really matter quite a bit in terms of somebody's scoring potential. The other key thing about it, Sam, I don't know if you want to talk about our little raid century operation in the beginning too.
Yeah, so I think isn't that the next slide?
Yeah, well, yeah, we can.
So basically there's some sentries that are like NPCs essentially. And so at the start, since I was the attacker, I could do kind of free turns while the defender couldn't do anything until I was spotted by the sentries. So the sentries move around with some kind of ghetto rolls and kind of move around. And my goal is obviously to kill as many sentries as possible without getting discovered so I can get as close as possible to the points before the Space Wolf Eldar Rune Claw
essentially
army
before
reacts.
the game actually even kicks off.
So there's actually like an hour of dancing with these stupid sentries.
Yeah, and it's pretty good. So you can see the sentries there are in blue. I got some Eldar Guardians that sort of wander around. The rules are pretty crazy too, because like if you kill them, like the body stays on the ground. So if another sentry gets within initiative distance of a dead one, then like it gets spotted that way, and the alarm gets raised. But if you can kill both of them that are close to each other,
it was tricky.
Whole hideous little dance. So what we ended up doing, we would kind of roll out, and this was the first turn. We would kind of roll off for each one of these sentries, and whoever won the roll off got to move it that many
so
inches.
you kind of trade off who's moving them, so you can try to make them.
Yeah, and you were trying to push them away from these points, separate them so they wouldn't get each other.
Yeah, and you had to kill them quietly, so you couldn't kill them with regular guns. They'd use sniper rifles.
Couldn't bring your vehicles on.
Yeah, it was a lot of.
It was interesting. So on my turn, not much happened. Oh no, excuse me. So Sam, you're the attacker. You're the red. So. On my turn, the sentries would move. And
because the defenders can't do anything. So basically, I was just going for when I had initiative, making aggressive maneuvers, and when I didn't have initiative, not, and trying to hide. So just a lot of dancing for a while.
Yeah, so we had some more dancing here. Then you moved in.
Yeah, trying to hide behind the boxes to try to avoid detection.
Yeah, the Vespids over on the left here.
Yeah.
Were... you're trying to obviously make a bust over towards that point, which is good. Yeah, down to that point in the bottom.
Should turn the highlighter on, dude.
Oh, yeah. Well, that can be done. So this was the fateful moment. That one little sentry sneaked in up there around the corner, got close, spotted you.
Yep.
There's the scene of the crime. Saw you from around these things, and so that was the official start of the game.
Yeah, so after that happens, all the sentries are removed. So they don't actually count for anything. And then a weird thing happened, which sucked for me.
On the way to the forum?
Yeah, which is that I lost the initiative, so I didn't even get to go first.
Yes.
Which was my original plan.
Yes. So you wanted to make the bum rush maneuver.
Yeah, I needed to shoot first, otherwise it was hard.
Yeah. And so, as the defender, I got to go first. You can see just on the left kind of what was deployed out on the field to begin with. So I really could only put my troop units on the board at the beginning of the game. So in my deployment zone, I had 3 chunks of Wind Riders on their jet bikes, getting ready to dance around, and there was a Farseer in the mix there. All the rest of my units were all in reserve. So for the first turn, this is basically it for both of us, what we have on the board. Yep. So I just busted out, moving towards some of the points. You'll see over the course of this, Eldar, not surprisingly, a lot of psychic powers. I moved in towards that point number 3 there, did some shooting. I think the shooting did nothing on this turn. I shot off.
Did you kill
towards
the Vespid?
No, I don't think I killed a single thing. I shot that. These guys shot the big pink stars because that unit was also doing their action during their shooting phase to grab that point, which that makes their shooting a little bit worse. So I killed nothing, and then I have jet bikes, so I could dance around.
Yeah, you did Eldar things.
Did all the Eldar things. So that then kicks it over to the response. So
Yep.
Talk to me about this.
Obviously, as Tau and Guard, all I can do is shoot, right? And the Guard aren't even on. So my goal was to try to get on points and then sit.
Yeah.
Because obviously, the more points you hold, the more points you get when you do the action. So my goal was to set up on points the maximum amount and then just park and try to depend on shooting to keep everybody off, right?
And you were you were set up well. The Vespids are close. You're close in the north.
The tricky point is this point, right? So this is pretty easy to grab with the Kroot.
Yeah.
The Vespids move fast. They can probably grab this, and there's some cover here, although coming on the board is going to be a challenge. This is really a point of contention because it's out in the open.
Yeah, and you got to get around that big stupid
and
thing.
You can't see it from the screenshot, but you can actually shoot through this blobby thing.
It's scaffolding, kind of stilts down below.
Yeah, and you can shoot over this. So you can see I moved to this point. I tried to kind of jank my way over the top and stretch out to be able to take this point. Move the Kroot boys over here with sniper rifles. Because obviously once they sit, they can shoot. Yeah. And moving a sniper rifle is bad. My commander's here to try to run interference and put some fire down, right? So
yeah.
So that's what I did.
Yeah, that's what you did.
There's the crew.
There was the advance. Yeah,
and there's the commander.
Commander, yeah.
So
you can see the scaffolding there. So you can.
Oh yeah, you can see. Yeah,
look at that. You can see right through it, Sam.
Yeah, and you can.
It's like we queued this up.
Man, whoever made this slideshow did a good job.
Just they thought about everything.
I know, that's amazing. It's amazing. All right. So there's.
Yeah, you started capturing.
Capturing. Yeah. So I shot what was left here, right at these guys.
Yep.
I did nothing. The commander shot, did nothing. This is standard. You're gonna see this is a
standard template for success. But
these guys.
All of these guys.
So you can see this is like all my fire warriors for the most part.
Yep.
It is literally all my fire warriors.
Yep.
They did some work.
Yep.
They did some work.
Killed a couple guys over there. Yeah.
And
there was no real assault. Your commander scooted around.
Yeah, I did the same thing in Jetbox. Yeah, so get some cover.
Jetbox, I like it.
Jetbox, and you passed your morale check.
So congratulations. All right, turn 2. Yep. Now we're starting to get into things. It's getting a little bit more interesting here.
So you got 3 points because you captured the 2 points.
Correct. Yes. So I had captured number 3, and I had the majority controlled around number 4. So you can see. Down in the
lower left.
Yeah, down in the lower left there at the score. So I'm up 3 points this round. Sam's sitting on 3 points, which is I think we're 6.
Sitting on 6. Yeah.
6 points, 3 locations. It'll be 6 points if you capture.
If I can hold, yeah.
So I got to try to get you off of those if at all possible. So I scored for that point and for those 2. So reserves got some pretty good reserve rolls for this first turn, which is good. So. I had a Wave Serpent. This has my Wraith Guard on it. That just did a big, huge, giant haul-ass maneuver over there. Yep. Wasn't really planning on doing anything else, but just trying to get it into position for later. I had another Wave Serpent come in. This has Striking Scorpions in it. And, I think this was a little bit of a Hail Mary maneuver up there with them, but it actually ended up
It was good.
Working okay to help fight that point off.
Yep.
Again, these move too fast for the guys to be able to get out and do anything this turn, so definitely a little bit of a gamble, but I had to pressure.
The key.
Well, yeah. Oh, down there? Yes.
Yeah.
We'll get to there. So I had a drop pod that came in. Some Grey Hunters got out. I think that scattered a little bit, but not too bad. Right. I was trying to get the pod a little bit above the point.
You're trying to block off, yeah.
But that's fine. They're there. They can help hold that point. Swooping Hawks, this busted Swooping Hawk squad dropped in. Another drop pod, Blood Claws, and a Rune Priest over there. And then my Striking Scorpions got their scout roll and were able to come in on that side. So that was key. I knew I needed to get the Vespids off of that point because they were pretty unsupported. So if I could take them out, I'd be able to hold that point pretty well and then kind of keep the focus on some of the other areas. So let's see, how did that go? Not so good for them.
Perilous.
It was perilous for them.
Yeah.
I also hate these guys.
They've
wrecked me in other times.
They've never wrecked you.
I think you've
just been concerned they were going to.
I know they can't. One day they will.
Because they have AP3.
They're hideous. I know. I hate them. They're deadly. They're deadly.
They're little bugs.
Okay, so for the rest of the movement, mostly just jet bikes kind of dancing around on some of the points. All the other stuff came in from reserve that turn. Lots of psychic powers, though, so Protect, that helps boost up my saving throw on my unit, which is key. Fortune, that lets me re-roll my failed saving throws. Iron Arm on the Rune Priest, that boosts my strength and toughness. Forewarning, giving them a 4+ invulnerable save is kind of ridiculous.
So, I did a lot of psychic stuff, too.
You had no psychic stuff. Not one.
Yeah, the Tau.
Not one. But that's okay, Sam. It's okay.
Is it?
Not really, actually. So, shooting. So, I had this squad kind of gave up some of their shooting power to be able to grab that point. And so, maybe a little ProHammer rule interlude. Basically, when you take a point like that, you are subject during your shooting phase then to limited fire, which means you shoot half your normal number of attacks, and you have a -1 penalty to hit. So it sort of messes with your shooting ability a little bit. There's a few other things that trigger that too. But grab that point. So I had my jet bikes and the Grey Hunters shot at the Crute, and that was pretty good. I had knocked out a lot of your stuff up there.
In no cover get no save.
And there was no woods on this map.
Yeah, and they had another ProHammer interlude. Because we're playing a campaign, the units get experience, they gain abilities. So they technically have an ability called Medic on a lot of my squads because I got lucky, which allows you to basically ignore a failed armor save, which is hugely powerful. Unfortunately, the crew weren't getting any armor saves, so it was doing me no good.
Yeah, it was rough up
there.
But
that's where the crew riders help because they soaked up 6 of those wounds.
Yeah, exactly. So a bunch of them died, but you still had all your sniper rifles and
exactly.
else, which was pretty key.
And then that is the return fire, because that's another ProHammer situation where when someone shoots at you, you can choose to return fire. Your fire will be a little bit worse, similar limited fire situation, but if you know your guys are going to die or things are dicey, sometimes it works. Yeah. And I got lucky enough to kill a jet bike, even though they have all kinds of fancy psychic garbage. So that's, as you'll learn, that's a huge win.
Yeah, and that was good too, because, that was also 25% of that unit, so you're forcing me to take a morale check at that point too, which is also, can be pretty key. So I had these united jet bikes shot, and then also the Swooping Hawks dropped a grenade pack on that unit when they came in. So
and I think they're the ones that did the wounds.
Yeah, they may have been, in some combination there, so that was good. The Swooping Hawks also shot at the Vespids, which was not so good because then they shot back.
Then I got the return fire,
and killed one of those. And the Swooping Hawks they're not in a great spot. Had the Blood Claws and the Rune Priest and the Scorpions shot at the Vespids. Collectively, they knocked another 2 of them out during the shooting phase. So nothing. It was pretty good up with the Kroot, but not unanticipated given that they were out in the open.
Yeah.
Assault phase, so we had some fun little charging maneuvers that happened here. Obviously the Scorpions and the Blood Claws are gonna thrive in close combat, so they charged in, and between the 2 of them, they wiped that whole unit out.
The Vespids didn't make it.
The Mandy, I don't know. They made it past the Mandy Blasters.
They did, yeah. Well, I think just the leader. I forget the swarm leader. So I forget what they're called, but high leadership. High initiative.
Yeah, and he's good. He's no joke. But that was a lot of meat down there, Sam. So,
yeah, they weren't going to make it.
Yeah, they weren't going to make it. So that was the I think that was it for the assault phase. Bikes did a little bit of dancing.
Yeah, a lot of morale.
A lot of morale checks. I think most of these were all passed this turn. So your fire warriors were fine.
Didn't you fail one?
Not this turn. Next, it's coming up. Yeah, these guys.
Maybe you failed with these bikes.
Well, maybe that was this turn. We'll see. No, they passed this turn. Next turn, Sam.
The words don't lie.
There. The words don't lie.
Well, part of the reason, another interlude that I passed this is because another ProHammer thing, you get experience. My leader actually got an ability, luckily, that anyone within 6 inches, 12 inches, can use his leadership. So even though the crew took a ton of damage, my commander's here with his leadership 10, so they're chill.
It worked out quite lovely. Yeah. So that was the end of my turn. Sam?
Yeah, all right.
You take it over.
Yeah, so this turn, the main issue, right, is, because you can all read, probably, is he's going to be able to capture 3 points right now. Mm-hmm. So now he can just sit the rest of the game and win, so I'm going to have to make something happen, right? So I can't let him sit on these 3 points. Even if I were to just sit here and capture these 2, I would obviously lose because of math. So we're actually tied in score right now because I captured 2. Mm-hmm. He threw me off here, but he's capturing right now. So next turn he would capture 3, so he gets 6 points. I'd be behind. So
there's your point you got.
Yep, there's the points I got. So boom, I get my reserves. So I got a bunch of airplanes.
Yeah, if you click through, they'll all show up here.
Oh, look at that. Yep, and
Devilfish.
The Devilfish. Right here's my airplanes bouncing in. My Hammerhead comes in, the big tank, and the Vendettas.
And your Riptide there in the big oval.
Where? Oh, yep, RT1. Yeah. Which is obviously huge. So
and I'm kind of sweating at this point because your
that's the
planes
bulk
have
of my
a lot of firepower.
Yeah, the planes, right? So the planes, the Vendettas, or one of them has 3 twin link las cannons.
Yeah.
Right, and heavy bolters. They got heavy bolter sponsons on all of them. The other ones have the multi-laser and the heavy bolters, and they got the Death Strike missiles, so they're all good. Yeah. So obviously,
there's veterans inside of your Valkyries, too, which are nice. These, those 2.
Which are these guys.
Yep.
So obviously, my goal is to either push them off here or push them off here somewhere. I also got this Wave Serpent that's going to cause problems. I know there's Scorps in there, so I got to deal with that, whether I'm just going to sit and try to snipe them or who knows.
Yep.
So here you go. Here's Hovermobiles. I like that.
hovermobiles are coming in, Sam.
Yeah,
you know,
so here's
everything basically flew and hovered in this whole situation.
It did. There's a lot of flying.
There's a lot of flying stuff here.
All right, I like it. It's pretty.
All right.
So, my commander jumps back behind here because I want to use him to take this point so I can free up the Tau.
Yeah, your Kroot.
Or Kroot, sorry, yeah. Well, they're Kroot are Tau.
Well, yeah, technically. Auxiliaries.
But here's all the shooting, right? See all these lines? So, obviously, that's what I'm all about, right? So, it's just going to be fire.
And that's another ProHammer thing, too, is we do declared fire. So, you basically go through and say, okay, all these guys are shooting. Here's all the targets of what they're shooting at. And then you roll it out and see what happens, which we like because it just adds some tension, a little bit more decision making. You can't just like optimize perfectly your shooting to like focus fire something down with just enough power. You know, you
exactly. The huge thing is I can't like fire at this, and then if I don't kill it, fire at it with this, and then if I don't kill it, fire at this. Oh, I killed it. Cool. Now these guys will shoot at this, and then this guy. So you know what I mean? You can't cheat it in that way.
Yeah.
So he's trying to cap the point there. The other reason is because even though shooting gets worse, a commander has a ballistic skill of 5, so he hits on a 2. So even if he's getting worse, he hits on a 3, and he also had like mass twin link things, so it was all good. And I put the Kroot on Overwatch.
Yeah.
The idea being I decided that since they can't kill the tank, I want to kill the Scorps. I'll put them on Overwatch, so when the Scorps get out, I can shoot them before they can charge.
Which is another ProHammer, like, classic throwback, like, 2nd edition, where you can do, like, an active Overwatch. So you can shoot, basically, at the start of my shooting phase or the shoot of my assault phase.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Units that are on
Overwatch.
And
it's hard to see, but in this, the token actually has a directional, so it's not Overwatch 360. It's actually only this angle for each guy, which is actually pretty important, because if you set that wrong, it's possible for the tank to jump over them and deploy behind and not deal with it.
Yeah, exactly.
So the commander shoots the tank. He does a lot of damage because he's got the fusion thing.
Yep. You get a Vendetta or
this airplane here. I don't know, Vendetta, I guess.
Vendetta. Yeah.
Yep. Blows it up, so he messed up the engines. The Riptide fires at these guys, does a wound, which creates a morale check.
Yep. Oof.
This one fires at these guys with a Death Strike missile, which is the AoE thing that has AP3. Does 2 wounds and blows up the weapon off the drop pod.
Stormbolter, which, you know what, those things, sometimes they put out the work.
They're consistent.
They do. They just sit there plinking away all game.
Yep. Then you got this Valkyrie firing at this Wave Serpent, and then this Hammerhead splitting fire, shooting at these guys with smart missiles, and the big gun at this, which never hits anything.
Yeah.
And
so nothing happened there.
These guys fired at these guys, nothing happened.
Yes. That was sort of a sad affair.
I fired a lot of stuff at this, and nothing happened.
Yep.
This unit fired at these guys, and so did this, and this was another big missile. 2 missiles, I believe.
Yeah,
actually.
you that was a double strike.
Yeah.
You wanted to bring the pain.
I did,
basically.
Yep. And it worked.
You killed the entire unit.
Everyone except the Rune Priest.
Somehow. Well, he was buffed up. He had his iron arm, made him a little tougher.
That's key.
Somehow he lived.
That's important.
It is, because otherwise it would have been, so that they were just wiped out.
Yep, and then at the kind of jet bike movement phase, the Riptide moved up.
Yep. More
aggressively in the assault phase, and then I created all these morale checks. Yeah. So a pretty big turn, messed up this vehicle, killed a bunch of dudes.
Yeah, exactly. And then I think, if you click through on the morale text, so I passed down there, which is key, because he could have run away pretty easily. Passed that one on the Grey Hunters, but then this is the one that I failed.
Yeah, so these 2 guys, they didn't make it.
Yeah, they didn't make it. So if you click again, they start running away. Look at that.
Which is
the animations.
I like it. It's fancy.
It's looking fancy. Good. It's coming together here. So they ran away.
Yep. So now it's your turn. Here you go. What do you got?
Okay. We may have a tactical interlude here.
So you got more points.
Yes.
Because I did not break enough. Because this missile didn't do enough.
Yeah.
Exactly. Here, I couldn't break the wolves off, so he still held 3 points, which is a problem.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm up. I gained 6, scored 6 more points that turn.
Also, you have this 9. Gigantic reserve.
I had a lot in reserve.
It's outnumbered. It's outnumbered.
You were. I think we can chalk it up to that, Sam. We can see. We can see. I had a fair amount on the table, and as you'll see, there's more coming in on reserves. but I scored, for those 3 different points that I was holding now. And so this was kind of a key. This is another little tactical interlude turn here. Tactical interlude, Sam. Let's talk about this.
Yeah.
This was a key one, though, because, I think I was in a good position, but you have a lot of stuff coming, too. Like, the Riptide up there with the Kroot, and then, I don't have that much with a Wave Serpent and 6 Scorpions, and, half your army's up there. So I was worried about that. I wasn't too worried about point 1, but again, you got 2 vehicles there. All those Fire Warriors have a line of sight down.
Yeah.
And so, my main thing was, can I take that Wave Serpent 1 in the middle with the Wraith Guard, and, what do I do with that to try to, pressure you on that point 2 to try to get you off of that? And can I use the tank to block in some goofy way?
Yeah, so let's go back to the interlude here. So here's what I was thinking. Yeah. You don't even care.
I moved right on.
So
talk to me.
I was confident that this wasn't going to do anything because the sniper rifles are pretty powerful. And the Kroot actually aren't that gimpy in close combat. My commander's there, and he got this crap. So my main issue was that when these, what are these guys, Wraith Guard? Mm-hmm. When they get out, I'm experienced with the Wraith Guard. They're unkillable death machines. So 2 was probably out. Maybe I could keep him from having exclusive control if I could keep these guys alive. Yeah. But I'd never be able to kill him. So my goal was basically to push 1 and then 4. Yeah. Was my thought, and leave these 2. So then I would have 5, 4, and 1. They have 3 to be able to catch up and take back over.
And then if you did that too, then you'd got an angle on the back of me on 3.
Exactly.
I don't have that much on 3.
Yeah,
and the Wraith Guard are slow, so if they're stuck on 2, and they're short range, and
they're short range. So basically, the trick with the Wraith Guard, in my experience, is just avoid them.
Yeah, exactly. Which is incidentally what I do with your Riptide.
Exactly the same.
Just try to avoid them.
Yes, although the Riptides are faster.
Yes, it's a little harder.
Okay. All right, now it's...
Very good. Thank you, Sam.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you. So, what are we going to do here? Reserves coming in. The Swooping Hawks, look at that. They ran away. Just pull them off. So, one of our rules, too, you can just say if something's running away, you're like, you know what, screw it. It's coming off the board, or it's just fleeing. I'm going to create the space to be able to bring other units on. So, I think this unit of bikes that was falling back, I just said, screw it. They're going to run away. We can't turn them around. So, I had this big Stormwolf gunship with 5 very meagerly equipped Grey Hunters in there.
You're in it for the airplane.
I'm in it for the airplane. So that thing flew in. That was key. Got them in. Got another drop pod.
Oh, I forgot about this.
With more Grey Hunters came in. I know. I had 1,000 Grey Hunters.
I forgot about this other drop pod. I totally blocked this out of my mind.
I know. Well, they didn't live long. That's why. That's why I don't remember that. That's why you blocked them out. They went into the lion's den as they would.
Oh, there's a Scorps.
Yeah, so the movement, tank shock. This is our first tank shock. We had many tank shocks.
Yeah, this is going to be key. Yeah.
This is key. So this thing came in, tank shocked those guys, and they kind of ran out of the way a little bit. So the Wraith Guard got out. There's a Spirit Seer with them. The other Wave Serpent in the north there sort of went out. And I, tried. The engines were busted. You busted my engine, so I couldn't go quite as far as I wanted. That was as far as I could do it. I could get the Striking Scorpions out, and because of the way you had your Overwatch oriented, I avoided some of your
a little bit
of your fire, which was kind of key. Lots of horrible psychic stuff. You can tell Sam's attitude towards the psychic powers.
Garbage. Don't worry. What all the spells I cast?
Just wait. I know, they're coming. Any moment now, there's going to be big Tau spells.
Look at all these. Evolve.
Look at all these spells.
Yeah, look at all this crap.
So, lots of shooting. So, again, taking that point in the middle there, point number 3 was getting captured in order to...
That's the capture squad.
Yeah, the capture squad to score the rest of it. Grey Hunters, I think they were trying to shoot at the Kroot, but your Riptide was actually screening it.
Yeah.
I ended up having to shoot them. These Striking Scorpions shot at the Kroot. Killed a few of them on the shooting.
Tried morale check,
Forced a morale check.
The return fire, though.
Yeah, because your commander can shoot back.
Yep.
Right?
Well, even aside from the Kroot. Yeah, they overwatched.
Mm-hmm. So you forced a morale check, potentially at the end of the turn on the Striking Scorpions. The Riptide shot back, killed a bunch of the Grey Hunters just outright.
Yeah, you don't want to shoot that thing.
That was It was tragic there, Sam. It was a little tragic. I did have the Grey Hunters also split fire, though. They had a guy with a melta-gun that shot... That knocked that one down, right?
Yeah.
Out of the sky, immobilized. Just a one-shot immobilization, which was
good.
Key. That was key. That was good. These Grey Hunters shot, and they blew up like one of your...
I think it was on the Riptide.
Yeah, or took a damage on the Riptide unit, which is pretty good.
Somehow, nothing happened here.
Somehow. Just look at that. The Wraith Guard, zero wounds.
Yeah, they're unkillable, but they didn't kill him very much.
Yeah, it wasn't good. These Farseers shot at them, did a wound. Drop pods, Storm Bolters shot at them. The Storm Wolf, that thing has a couple of heavy bolters.
Yeah, all kinds of...
Frost cannon.
Yeah, fucking snow
glass
guns.
cannon. I can't remember. It's got a bunch of stuff. Hellfrost Destructor, something.
Snow guns, that's what I
Snow guns. Did a bunch of damage on your guys over there. And then I also got a lucky hit on the other Valkyrie and immobilized that one and knocked it down on the ground. So that was huge, getting to slow that roll down. Here's a little oblique battle cam angle
I like it,
up in the north with your Riptide, my busted up Space Wolves, the crew, the commander, all of that action happening.
I like that. Oh, assault.
All right.
So you assault into the crew.
Assault into the crew.
Did some damage. Obviously, that's your job. Yeah. I don't think the Mandy Blasters did it, though.
It wasn't the Mandy Blasters. No. Yeah, it was the follow-up. The Striking Scorpion Exarch is pretty good. Yeah. He's like my ace in the hole guy for combat. He's got high strength, power weapon, crazy initiative. You killed guy back.
Yeah, crew, man.
Crew, we're getting it done. But you lost the fight, and you have to take a morale test.
Yep.
The Wraith Guard charged in to fight these
fire warriors.
4 little fire warrior guys. It's not a good scene there. I killed those 2 that were close. The other ones were a little bit far away. They had to take a morale check. Grey Hunters. So this was the clutch move because it definitely, I think, helped save my rear this game.
Yes.
Which was the sacrificial charge of the Grey Hunters into the Riptide. They basically can't wound it.
Yeah, they can't wound it.
Very easily.
But a Riptide has a weapon skill of 2. So while it immediately stomps anyone it hits and just kills them because it's like a power weapon because it's a monstrous creature and its strength is, I don't know, really high, it can't hit anyone because its weapon skill is 2.
Yes.
So like I hit on a 6?
Yeah, so I can hit you. No, 5. But
5.
So I can hit you, but I can't wound you. You can hit me, but you can wound me.
Yes.
Well, so it was just a hideous fight that begat. I don't know. Begat?
No, I don't. Maybe.
It started up.
I killed one, is what happened.
Yep, you killed one. That's what happened.
So morale checks all around.
So they failed and ran away, which is key because that helped me get point number 2.
Yeah, although you had majority anyway.
Yeah, I did. Your crew passed.
Yeah,
the Shaper had high leadership. You had
plus my commander. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Somehow
your boys passed. That was key.
That was key because they were.
Because if they broke, then my guy would have been free
to just move on to that point.
Yeah,
indiscriminately and
just become a terror. All right.
Yes. All right. So
now I'm in a little bit of trouble, right? So because he took 3, he's on 3 points, right? So I have to get a majority.
4 even.
Or 4. Yeah, it's a problem, right? It's a problem.
It is a problem.
So these guys are running. That's fine. My commander...
you still had that point.
Is still trying to capture this, yeah.
Yep. So you got a point for that.
I got my point there, but I didn't get anything else because I got knocked off this.
Yeah.
So I'm only at 4. And I can't try to take this point because I don't have exclusive control because of these obnoxious scorpions.
Yep.
And you can see it's cool neutralize. I like that. These guys are dead.
Yeah.
So my reserve, right? So here comes my second Riptide. And my movement. So I moved an airplane here.
Yeah, if you click through it, it'll give you...
Does it?
There we go. Well, I started over here. So
okay.
Your guys
nice.
got
All right, so this drives up on top of this building so I can get a line of fire. My dudes get out because this is already immobilized. Yep. The guard get out. They're going to try to shoot this way.
Yeah, so that was that moving.
Yep.
There's the guard.
Dudes.
That was your veteran squad.
Yep. So this is... Now we're getting into special tactics.
Special circumstances.
So, obviously, I'm going to try to drive across board because this is if you remember, this is the unit that you're using to capture, to start the capture
of
these other points. So, if I can somehow knock this off, I can eliminate all the points for a turn, basically.
Yeah, specifically
these 3 dudes.
Yeah, the B squad there.
Yeah, because which is also the key thing which was kind of a weakness, is that there's only 3 guys left in this squad.
Yeah.
Right? Or 4, I guess. Yeah. That's also B. Smaller squad. So.
Yeah.
And my guys get out and move here. This is the guard boys here, so they're in the mix.
Grav shoots, and they're dropping.
Yeah,
out. They're scattered.
Right. Oh, that's right.
Underneath my ship.
That's right. Yeah, because we used grav shoots to drop out, and we scattered over here. In fact, I failed the roll, and you moved it over here.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, because you landed on top of me.
Yeah, because my thing here, due to ProHammer, if you're like landing dangerous terrain on top of another unit, the other person can choose. So he chose to move them as far away as possible.
Yeah.
This ship comes up here, does some sweet power slide.
Yeah. A turbo dance. Yeah, these guys moved here.
Okay, yeah. Sometimes I lose the arrows.
Yeah. No,
Yep, these boys move up to try to contest and get into line of fire. So here's the guard here, right there. So I got to break these units, right? So here's some las guns. There's a flamer. There's a melt gun, and there's the Lord Commissar.
Lord Commissar. There he is. Yeah.
And he's got the Emperor's Benediction.
I don't know what that does. I don't
it's a fancy pistol.
Oh, well,
all right, so shooting.
naturally.
So here's the sponson heavy bolters on these guys. These guys on these. So we're trying to. The goal is to break this.
Yeah, and you had
unit.
like smart missiles on all kinds of things shooting at it.
Yep,
from
you got all these. There's lines everywhere, right? So we got this thing firing a bunch of las cannons at this wolf. These boys are shooting, splitting fire at these scorpions to try to break them. If you get lucky, the drop pod. The commander's going to try to blow this up.
Yeah, the
Riptide's stuck in close combat. That really sucks.
Yeah.
This Riptide's trying to shoot at these guys, trying to make something happen.
Yeah, so how did it all turn out? So you're grabbing that point.
Yep, trying to grab it.
Yeah.
So shooting at this with this hammerhead. And then this. So these this other Riptide did do a damage here, so that was key.
Yeah, he killed one.
Got one, that was good. This thing fired a million things at this Storm Wolf.
Yep.
And damaged it.
You did something to it. Was
did
it
I
like
mobilize it
or something like that?
Yeah.
I can't remember.
The commander did nothing to this somehow through magic.
Eldar magic. Rune. The magic of the runes.
The magic of the runes.
I have double runes because it's Space Wolves and Eldar runes.
That's true. There's a lot of runes.
There's a lot of runes.
This is indirect fire from the smart missiles at this unit because this is the key. Did nothing. These guys fired though, and they did a lot of damage.
Yeah.
Got lucky with the melt-a-gun, the flamer.
And you say a lot of damage because it's wounds too, but these guys are like buffed all up with
Well, no,
psychic powers.
so that's the key.
Oh, yeah.
If we were to go back, which I'm not going to, these guys they failed their psychic test to get their protection or whatever. Or fearless.
They would have got fearless, emboldened to be able to be immune to morale.
So they failed a psychic test, which is the key, right? So that means they have to take a morale check.
Yeah.
Yep. So a lot of damage. These guys did actual 2 wounds to the script, which is huge.
Yeah.
Real lucky there.
Yep. So assault phase, which is basically just continuing the combat fights up there for the most part. Yep, ongoing assault.
Yep. So they kill more crew. I think only the Shaper is left, maybe.
Yeah. Exactly.
This thing happens with the Riptide. I kill another wolf. So I gotta take a morale check.
And I just have the Rune Priest left there now at this point, so he's holding his own over there.
He's a champion.
He is.
So morale checks all around, right? So the Riptide passes.
Yep.
The Crew boys, they pass somehow.
The Shaper's still in it.
Yep, and the Commander.
Crazy. The
Farseer unit, they passed. But this is the key. So they failed, right?
Yeah.
So that breaks up all the capturing.
Yep. So I get a big fat nothing for this turn.
Yeah, I got lucky there.
Which is pretty key. So, I mean, this is interesting now. I mean, I still have the points, but like I lost my, what would have been a huge pile of points for scoring here. And I'm looking at this like, holy smokes, like point number 1 doesn't have many guys on it. My jet bikes are running away. Point 3 doesn't really have much left on it. I basically had my Wraith Guard, so it's kind of your plan is getting close to happening here.
Fruition.
That's right. So back to the Rune Claws, turn 4A. So A couple things. So as we just covered, I got no points that round. So very exciting. Keeping it close here. I just had those bikes that were falling back. I just let them run away to free up basically points. We have like a fielding limit for how much stuff you can have on the board at a time. Free up some points for a Storm Fang to come in with some more Grey Hunters that have absolutely no equipment. I think the moral of the story on my end is these squads of Space Wolves do basically nothing. They drop, they look menacing, and they get blown off the board in a turn.
They got sweet airplanes, though.
They have sweet airplanes and some drop pods that stick around, and that's the bulk of it. So for some of the movement, I did have that other Storm Wolf, had a unit of Grey Hunters in there and a Wolf Guard battle leader, so they hop out. I have some of my Grey Hunters over by point number 4, move around a little bit. I did some dancing with the Wave Serpent, so I was trying to use the Wave Serpent to basically cut off your Riptides and stuff, and your Hammerhead from being able to like fly in and mess with the Wolf Guard. Or, excuse me, not the Wolf Guard, the Wraith Guard. Too much guarding happening here. It's just far too much. I don't know what the Striping Scorpions are doing. They had to hold point 1. I didn't really want to charge in. The key, though, this was my clutch maneuver.
It was good.
Was the Rune Priest. He's like working his way around the drop pod to try and make some sort of magic happen.
Literally.
Literally. That's
Space
right.
magic.
Space wolf magic. Move my bikes back onto that point. There was another tank shock. Remember, I tank shocked your commander up here, Sam.
Yeah, didn't it work?
It worked. Yeah,
because somehow I failed at 10 because that's how I play.
Yeah, and so the commander got bumped off, which is also kind of huge.
Yeah.
Just for getting him out of the way, so that was miraculous. So with that, I did a little bit of psychic action. Finally got Emboldened to work. A few other things. Okay, so here was our a shot of that's not the right title, Sam. This is not the Commissar.
Well, he can see him. He's back there.
The Commissar is back there. This should be the pending Rune Priesting.
The Rune Priesting.
Yeah, the Rune Priesting is about to happen.
Getting the vets. The vets here.
This is a guy sneaking around the drop pod.
Yeah,
so for
the lady vets.
That's right. So some shooting. I'll try to grab that middle point. I don't really know why I grabbed the middle point again there instead of point 1, but I don't know.
Well, because you only had 4. I see why. Because if somehow those veterans live, there's like 10 veterans and a hammerhead that are all going to put fire down on your Scorps.
Yeah, so that was rough.
Versus your Farseer, which has got how many wounds?
Yeah, he's pretty tough. That's true. So I had the Farseer. I had my guys with jet bikes. They were going to try to take out this Valkyrie by shooting at it. I shot at it with a bajillion things and did absolutely nothing.
That's true.
Stormwolf shot at that. The Storm Fang did some long bombardment. I shot some Fire Warriors.
Yeah, it worked.
Some things happened. Grey Hunters, this was not good. So the Grey Hunters, you can see them here. They shot at the vets. They were like, yeah, we're going to do this. We're going to really do a good job. We killed a lot of them.
You did,
which
it
is
was good.
But you returned fire simultaneously and killed almost the entire squad of Marines back.
A lot of last guns and
not an even trade.
No.
That was a hard trade.
I'd trade 5 guard for 3 Marines any day.
Yeah, exactly. So, that wasn't good. Lost some guys there. The Stormwolf shot at those vets along with the drop pod, killed a few guys. Wraith Guard shot at those Fire Warriors, killed somebody. Wave Serpent, I think, took out like a shield drone. Missile drones.
Yeah, shielded missile drone.
That's right. I shot at that thing with my Wave Serpent and my Melt-A-Gun from those Grey Hunters. That did nothing. That Wave Serpent didn't do anything. So, assaulting. Couple exciting things. So, the wolf, that Rune Priest over by your veterans, he charged in.
Got in the
promptly.
mix.
You got to get in the mix. So
messed him up.
He messed him up, and I don't think he wounded me back in that fight.
No.
So morale check there. The other Grey Hunters charged in.
That's the Commissar.
Yeah.
Did do some damage though. Commissar returned.
He did. He stepped up to the plate, killed a couple guys. So that was a big horrible melee battle going on there. Yeah. But you did have to take a morale check. Yeah. But I think you can pass them, right?
Yeah, well, the Commissar is stubborn, right? So he doesn't have any negative modifiers.
That's right. This epic battle continues.
It never ends.
Nothing happened. No wounds on that one. I finally killed your Shaper, though. I believe. So, and I got to consolidate the scorpions into your riptide and just trying to keep that thing locked down as long as I could.
Yep.
So, a couple morale checks. Your vets passed there. Your vets passed there. You had some fire warriors back there that I believe had passed.
Yeah.
More that that squad failed. They ran away. Pretty far.
Yeah.
They took off. So that was the situation.
Yeah. So now we're in. If you're rooting for the Milli-Tauium, we're in dire straits here, right? So basically, if he can fucking take this point.
Number three there.
The like where I broke him before to stop the point gain. If I can't stop the point gain this turn, I'm in a hole that I probably can't get out of, right? Because he's got majority on these 2 points. There's no way, because I'm locked in close combat here and here, that I'll be able to deal with this. And there's no way I'll ever be able to deal with this. There's no way for me to get here because I'm all locked up.
Yeah, the numbers of your troops on the ground to grab the points
are dwindling.
Yeah.
So I have to somehow deal with this action. Otherwise, I'm pretty much toast. So I gained no points. So here's our tactical overlay. You can see interlude. Sorry.
It is an overlay and an interlude.
It's an interluded overlay.
Oh, there we go. Yeah.
So yeah, I can't get through here. Obviously, I got to deal with point number 3. I should have went to the slide before I talked.
That's okay. You didn't know.
So what did I do? So my riptide moves up, right? And if you see here, suddenly there's an airplane here, right? So.
Oh yeah, you moved your devilfish over.
Right, trying to get maximum fire, and trying to tank shock with a hovering airplane. So there was a lot of discussion here, and we came to a good conclusion. Yeah. Not something too cheesy, but the goal was basically to use tank shock to push the unit too far away from the point to capture. Yeah. But it didn't work.
Yeah, because I ended up passing a morale check and moving, and then we realized after the fact too, they're like, oh, actually an airplane can't tank shock, but that's fine. We were rolling with it anyway.
Exactly. So it didn't work.
But it was a good thinking.
It was the same plan here, right? It's just try to push people away from points, but none of those things worked.
Your hammerhead moved up.
Yep, to try to just do damage. So some shooting. So fire wars firing.
Yeah, and you had basically everything shooting at that Farseer.
Everything that could.
Yeah, yes. Everything that could. Exactly.
Yeah, so you got like sponsons, you got like that whatever that devilfish thing is. A lot of fire on the Wraithguard just because of anything else to shoot at that mattered. So yeah. So yep, there's a tank shot and the airplane there. And yep, so we did some damage. We did wounds.
Yep, so
down to just the Farseer.
Just the Farseer, and he's took a wound in that process too.
But unfortunately, the strength 10 AP 1 shot missed.
Yes. As it would, Sam.
Yes.
Just those single die roll hits that just don't.
Yeah, I can't do it. Can't do it. More
bites. And that was the end of the wolf Grey Hunters there. I think the sponsons off the back of the Valkyrie killed that unit out, wiped that out.
Yep. These guys fired at obviously nothing happened because these guys are tough. Did stun the tank, not that it mattered.
Stun that tank?
Yep. The challenge was that we couldn't morale break the Farseer.
Yeah.
I think because didn't you have the fortune on him or whatever that
the emboldened thing finally went off.
Yeah, so because of the psychic power, couldn't break him. So so then it's assault phase, so assault's continuing.
You killed the Rune Priest.
Yeah.
That was the end of him. But, I mean, that was key. He held that thing up for like
He did.
3
No, that
turns.
was huge. That was huge. Because he couldn't couldn't have the firepower. And then there's this Commissar and the wolves going.
Yep.
Everybody dies but the Commissar.
Yep. And he's still in it.
Yep. And then this, the wolves kill some more boys.
Yep. And that was just continuing to go on.
Yep. There's the Commissar.
There's the Commissar battle. Look at these guys.
Look at that. Look at the beard on that guy.
I know. Well, look at the 5 o'clock shadow that the
he's
Lord
just-
Commissar has. He's like, you know
pistol up
what?
there.
I haven't shaved since Tuesday. He's like, I'm fucking ready to go.
No, this is
ready
a
to
commissar.
tear it up.
He's like, I haven't shaved in an hour and a half. And this is
Oh,
what it looks
that's
like.
right. I got my pointiest hat and my stupid Emperor pistol.
That's right, man. He's ready.
but
Unfortunately, there's no guard to shoot in the back of the head because they're all gone.
They're already all gone. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well.
And so that was the end. So a lot of morale checks, which were all passed.
Which is pretty amazing. Yep. So this was, at this point, I did successfully get that point. So, that was plus 10. And at this point, we pretty much called it.
Yeah, I think we called it, yeah.
So those points are captured. So the field was conceded at this point.
Field conceded.
You conceded
That's
the field.
fancy. I did.
That's a very respectful way to say that your
that's
opponent
totally what I
has
said.
conceded.
I was like, you know what? Great game, sir.
Yes. Let's concede the field.
I will concede the field to you.
Yeah, that's right. This was an interesting fight because even though I feel like I had the momentum advantage, like it could have gone differently very quickly.
Yeah, I think you going first after the sentries was key.
Yeah.
That didn't like win the game, but that was a good. That was a pivotal point. We had some good morale checks, and then you made some good decisions.
Yeah.
Like you tied up that riptide. That was pretty huge because that would have done a ton of damage.
I think, yeah.
Because by the 3 turns, like 2 or 3 turns of this guy being able to move and then move in the assault phase, could have been all the way over here doing God knows what.
Yeah. That would have been bad if he had because was that was the first Riptide the one with like the 20 shots or crazy number of shots?
No, it's the one with the plasma guns that have AP2.
Oh, right. So that would have been bad for the
because you could
Grey Hunters down on .4
and the bikes.
And the bikes.
Yeah, if you don't get the protect or whatever, so you don't have an invulnerable save, you just get nothing.
Yeah.
Strength 7, I think, or 8. I don't know. It depends on the Nova reactor. You had some good reserve rolls, I think, was key. Yeah, so a lot of things. It was pretty. It was a close game. It's definitely a close game.
The one thing I think that I kind of lucked out on, I did immobilize those 2 vehicles. So that one Vendetta in the north, and then that other Valkyrie that had your
the other squad in.
The other squad in, because if you had a turn, for this this Valkyrie that was over here.
Yep.
If you had a turn to be able to take that and get that down on that other point and
to
drop all those guys, I don't know if you necessarily would have. Well, you would have
had majority.
You would have had majority around the point.
Yeah.
And you would have dropped in. You would have shot the striking scorpions totally in the open.
Yeah.
And they probably all would have died.
Well, we didn't talk about this, but I abandoned this immobilized vehicle, so I couldn't use it anymore.
Oh, right.
To be able to get more reserves on for the fielding limit, but if it could still move, I probably wouldn't have. So you still would have had a multi-laser and 2 heavy bolters of fire to be able to put on the Scorps as well.
Yeah, no, that's true. Yeah, it was a tough battle. There was some
game.
interesting stuff. The Fire Warriors were tough because you still ended the game though with some things in reserve still that you couldn't even bring on. You had some more Devilfish.
Yeah.
That didn't get on. I mean, they don't have a ton of firepower.
Yeah, I had 2 of them, I think.
Yeah.
I think 2 more.
Yep.
Yeah, because every Fire Warrior squad has a Devilfish, and there was only 1 Devilfish on.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But crazy hover planes and vehicles. And
due to the setup of our campaign, it really encouraged airplanes and hovering.
Here's a nice little shot at the end of the game, kind of where the situation was.
Yeah,
the cats are into it, Sam.
Yeah, Patton loves it.
So yeah, this was, I think, what was this, turn 3B, the start of one of your turns.
Yep.
That was a pretty key kind of decision. A lot of these things could have hinged on just how some of the rolls went. And,
it was good. Yeah.
Well, and there was both of our forces arrayed.
Yeah.
Across the at the end of the game, just to kind of see at a snapshot everything that we both had on the table.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of forces out there, and then so this was the dramatic kind of conclusion to our campaign, right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Because that army ran away, I grabbed that point. We didn't even fight this one.
No, we didn't. It was 27, 50 points versus
1,700 or something. I
Yeah.
don't know. I was way outnumbered.
Yeah.
And I was barely fighting your guard off alone, and then you brought in a whole detachment of Tau.
Yeah.
On top of it, it wasn't.
And the
worth
guard
it.
were like maximized to kill the Marines at that point, like because I just upgraded them. Yeah, it was rough.
Yeah, it would have been a good. If we could go back in time, Sam, we could play that one again, but we won't do that. So yeah, you grabbed that point. I had the point all the way down in the south. You know, not this turn, but next campaign turn, I'd be able to grab that point, and then based on how the Gamma Point battle went.
Yeah, I'd be forced to fall back. So basically, that was it.
Yep.
There was we gamed it out. There was really no way. If you had lost, there was a way that you could have come back on the last turn, but if I lost, there was no way for me to come back.
There may have been, but it was like a razor thin. Like you'd have to win a ridiculous number of fights or something.
Yeah, like way outnumbered. It just wasn't. Yeah.
Not super feasible.
Super close though. Super close.
But
that's how you want a campaign to be. It comes down to one climactic battle.
It was good. It all worked out well. It was a good fight at the end there, and we had many good battles along the way.
Yeah, we did. That was good. It was a good campaign. It was fun.
Very good. Key. All right. Well, with that, here's my boys at the point, Sam.
No, why don't you read your quote?
The mists of space and time retreat from my mind. This battle is going to retreat from my mind.
You know what's not going to retreat from my mind? How much I hate the Eldar.
I know.
And I will never retreat from my mind. The rest of my life, I'll be on my deathbed, and I'll be like, they're going to cast Protect.
Yep.
And they're going to live.
Yep, and Fortune. They're going to stack it all and just be a bunch of...
psychic powers from your frilly boys.
Yep, that's right. That's what we do. That's what we do. That's what we bring out. All right. With that, signing off.